Hi, my name is Matt Eastwood. I'm the Worldwide Chief Creative Officer of J.WT Thompson, and you're watching Be Change.
And my snare going.
I still think the most important thing about creativity is to base it on a genuine human insight. So I always try to understand the people I'm talking to and find out what is the human insight and the challenge that they're facing that we can help as a brand solve for them. So before I even start thinking about creativity, I think about what's the conduit by which I can have a meaningful interaction with this person. And I think once you get that, once you sort of identify what the challenge or the problem that you're trying to solve, then I think you become open to creative ways of solving that, and creative solutions start to suggest themselves. I think when you understand the audience you're talking to, you kind of go, all right, well, this is where they live mostly. They're on this platform or whatever, and you kind of go, how am I going to creatively get their attention on that platform? So I think it's almost a process of steps that you have to go through, and then I think the creative solution, presents itself at the end when you've done the pre-work. It's funny. I think sort of to get to the top of the industry is a combination of sort of drive and passion, and I've said often that I think talent is almost a commodity. I think there's a lot of talented people in the world, and certainly you meet people with all sorts of talent, but for me what drives the difference is the passion behind that talent. And I think if you are really passionate about this industry and being creatively successful, then that will propel you beyond people who maybe aren't as passionate about it. And I think for me, for my own success in my career, that's the thing that's driven me. I don't think I'm the most creatively talented person in the world by any means, but I am one of the most passionate people, and I've always believed that I wanted to be successful in this industry, and I've always pushed myself, and I've moved cities and moved countries and created those opportunities for that to happen. So I think I would say, really tap into your passion, and that will propel you forward. During my career, I've definitely learnt to understand how to deal with creative blocks, writer's block. And I know when I was younger, I would always, when I couldn't have an idea, I would panic and it would make it worse. And you just become immobilized by this sort of this panic of, oh my God, I have to have an idea and it's due tomorrow and I don't have anything. And I think what I've learnt over the years is that is counterproductive. There's no point getting yourself into a sort of a stressful situation over that. I've realized that no matter what, I always have an idea. It's whether, it may not be the world's best idea, but I'm always going to have an idea on a brief. And then I think the worst thing you can do when you're struggling to come up with the idea is sit and stare at a blank computer screen and just force yourself to do it. So allowing yourself the opportunity to walk away, to go and read a magazine, to listen to some music, to see a movie, to go to an exhibition or something. I think as creative people, our job is to constantly be inputting creative things into our brains. So the best thing you can do is find other stimulus to put in your brain, and then a creative idea will come. The worst thing you can do is sit there and sort of reprimand yourself and say, you've got to have an idea, because you never will. So I think the confidence comes from knowing you'll always do it, but also being able to walk away when you are at that stress point and go, all right, I'm going to seek other input. God, yeah. That's a hard one. I don't know. I feel like if we've had creative work rejected, there's usually some kind of logic behind it. It's not just because, oh, that's too crazy for us. I've had moments in my career where I've been frustrated, where I think, what I've created is like a little piece of gold that I'm kind of giving to a client, and sometimes they're like, well, I don't know about that gold, I don't want that gold, and you think, wow, this is this amazingly precious idea I'm giving you. But I think mostly, the way I work with clients is very collaboratively, and I don't think I end up in a situation where I find clients saying, no, you can't do that. I think it's more of a discussion of, well, this is not right because of that reason, and so let's sort of pivot to something else. So I haven't got a lot of sob stories of ideas that never made it to life, yeah. So I sit on the Global Creative Council for Facebook. So I actually work really closely with them in terms of how can we together bring an idea to our target audience, etc. So rather than, I don't see them as I see them as an ally and a partner, and we work together quite closely and I think they don't generally try to compete with us for our own clients, and I think because of the relationship I have with them and we have with them, if one of our clients does approach them directly, which has happened, they will tell me and we'll be back in the loop. So I think they see the value of agencies in terms of ideas. And it's different. I'm sure they deal with smaller clients who don't have agencies and they do that work themselves. But, we have a very collaborative relationship with them, which is fantastic. And the same with Twitter, the same with Snapchat, and I think that's how they're going, by not being competitors, by being allies. I think that's how they've seen the opportunity to grow their businesses within, our clients. So I think because they're so hungry for experiences, it's up to brands to deliver fantastic experiences for them, and I think they're open to receiving those, which is great. So it's like a shift in the way we talk with millennials, I think. It's interesting because they say that traditional advertising doesn't work on them, but yet a brand experience does work on them. So it's just a different version of traditional advertising.